Good evening, folks. Wanted to touch base with you this right quick. And it's cold, folks. It's cold. It's been snowing today up in the mountains. Very windy. We got some wind here. But they expecting winds between 50 and 60 miles an hour tonight and 6 to 8 inches of snow, and we got people in tents. We got to get these folks out of tents. It's going to be a bad night. Remember them in your prayer. I can't imagine being on the side of a mountain in a tent, 50 and 60 mile an hour winds with snow blowing, with a 6 to 8 inch possibility. All going to depend on how the low pressure system came in. But they were getting snow earlier today. Brother Bud got a text from a lady and said they had been getting snow. Brother Bud carried all the heaters he had left out of the shipping container to Burnsville, Bakersville, and Red Hill, and propane bottles to go with them, and the little gas cylinder, the little green ones. And he's took all that up. He's setting up a get a tank and return a tank policy, because you can't keep handing out these grill tanks and not having any to fill back up with propane. So if you take a tank now up there, you've got to return one to get one, because most people's got them now, and they're wanting to have a spare. I understand that, but if they'll just stay on top of it, they'll have plenty. And as it gets colder and colder, folks, they're going to need a second heater. Some of the highest parts of Mitchell County tonight was going to be 23 to 25 degrees and all that wind and snow. And a 9,000 BTU little buddy heater to try to stay warm with tonight, which is better than nothing. But if the temperatures continue to drop and drop, there's going to be a need for more and more heaters. So we're going to put out a Mayday. A Mayday for the heaters, folks. Ship them straight to Pastor Tim's house. And if you can supply the adapter and a 10-foot hose to go with it, that would be a blessing. So we need a Mayday for more heaters. We thought 110 was going to do pretty good for a while, but winter's on them now, folks. We do have one positive thing. We had Brother Bud got a call from a fella, or Pastor Tim. I don't know which one it was. All I know is the fella has donated 100 grill tanks full of propane. And as we speak, there's people up there going to get those tanks now up in the southern part of Virginia to bring back down to Flat Rock. And we had a fellow from South Carolina that was going to bring in a refill station, bring a 500-gallon tank in to refill propane out of. And we didn't hear nothing out of him last week. Turned out that fellow got sick, and but he called today, and he's coming Saturday morning at 11 o'clock to bring that tank. So now we're going to have a way to refill these tanks. Exchange a tank program. And but it's cold, folks. Mayday for the heaters. Mayday for the heaters. We need more heaters, folks. It's going to be brutal on them. And they're not going to come out and ask for help. I'm going to tell you that. And I have found out why. More and more stories. People that have been flooded out and lost their homes, and they're in these tents and outbuildings, sheds, or whatever they may be in, they're reluctant to ask for help because they're afraid that social services will come in and take the children away from them. Ain't that sad? They're providing for them the best they can, but they're scared to ask for help, to seek out help, or to even try to locate a location where Foxtrot Echo Mike Alpha has their little tent set up where they want people to come to them instead of them go to people the way it should be, because they're scared to ask for help or acknowledge that they're there and afraid for their children. Something wrong with that, folks. Something's wrong. Pray for the lady up in Burnsville. I don't know her name, but she's cooking 450 hot meals every other day to give to the elderly and the disabled that can't get out to get food. Wasn't aware this was even going on until Brother Bud found out about her, and she's got volunteers coming in from everywhere to help her, and she's getting supported by donations, but she's got her hands full. So if there's anybody out there that would like to help this lady, you can contact Brother Bud, and he can get in contact with her to find out how someone may help her. She's cooking all this stuff out of her house and her outbuilding on grills and stuff to send these plates of food, warm food and hot food, to people that are in need. Folks, I've been in the southern mountains, I've been in the northern mountains, I've been all over that up in there to see this stuff, and I'm telling you, the southern and western part of the mountains of North Carolina, from about and I'm not going to put a line on it because I know it, they got flooded everywhere. I don't care if you're up in the southern part of Virginia. They got flooded. But that mud that came with those floods down in the Swannanoa and Lake Lure, Bat Cave, Canton, all those areas where they had those huge mudslides, makes it 100 times worse, because the mud just will not dry, and all it does is create mold and mildew, and you've got people that are still in their house and the bottom floor is full of mud, and they're in the top floor trying to live because they have nowhere else to go. So they're living in a mold infested environment now. And the medical conditions up there, they're seeing more cases than they've ever seen before of pneumonia and Lyme disease, because all these deer ticks and stuff that's been flushed down the rivers and stuff out of there. I guess they have, I don't know how if they have a nest of these ticks or how it works, but they're everywhere. Everywhere. And folks, there's a lot of wild animals now dying from drinking the water, the contaminated water. I'm talking about deer. They ain't been hit by cars, they just dead. Livestock sick, horses sick and dying. It's a bad situation, folks. Bad situation. Do have a positive note as well. The Central Global Methodist Church will be dispersing money next week to these families that's been vetted. So they're getting ready to get their first round of money. I encourage you, if you want to help support a family, to contact the Central Global Methodist Church, 336-629-1425. The address is 300 South Main Street, Asheboro, North Carolina, 27203. Or you can click the link in the description below and give directly online. This will help these families that have been displaced, help pay for furniture, help pay for materials to rebuild their house on the inside, replace sheetrock, insulation, plumbing, electrical, whatever it may be, flooring, subflooring. Maybe the brick foundation got pushed around. Who knows, whatever they need. But folks, these people need help. We've got to get them out of tents. They're going to freeze to death. These little heaters can help. But imagine being in a nylon tent, folks, with a tarp over top of it to try to deflect the wind, and at 25 degrees and snow blowing. No water, no bathroom, nothing. So folks, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind when you're praying tonight. Mayday for heaters. We got a Mayday for heaters. Brother Bud said some of them folks see him coming and he said they treat him like he's Santa Claus bringing gifts. And he is. And it's all because of you folks helping support this. Sending in heaters and propane and hoses and the winter clothes, folks. People coming in, picking up winter clothes. They know how cold it's getting. Brother Bud's sending winter clothes up with him. Taking them out into the mountains. Without that, tonight, folks, would be a catastrophe. A catastrophe. Say a prayer for Bud. He says it's rough seeing this day in and day out. And I know. I've seen it a lot, but not like him. He's in it every day. He has to drive through it every day. He says it's playing on everybody's mind. He said it's like going into some of the locations. He said it's like the TV series, what do you call that, Walking Dead. He said that's about what it is. He said they're just walking around in a daze. They see everything, and it's a hopeless situation because there's a pile of rubble over there that's their house, and they're scraping up photographs and stuff from down the river and finding things that they had in their house. And he said it's just like there's no hope. So think about that. No job, no house, no income, a wife, children, and in a tent. Those of us that are laying down tonight in a warm house, warm bed, heat, electricity, running water, should be thankful. Those folks are in trouble tonight, folks. I don't care how good a heat you got in a heater. It's going to be cold tonight in that tent. So think about it, folks. Say a prayer for them. We got donation information, folks, up in the description. Mayday for heaters. I'm going to put Pastor Tim's address on there too. If you want to Amazon him a heater in to put in the container, you'll be able to ship it right to him. It'll get to him within 2 days and be quicker than it would be if you ship to Midway or Central, that been able to get it up there to him. And Amazon Prime is free shipping, folks. Mayday for heaters. Mayday for heaters. Appreciate you joining us today, this evening, as we just thinking about the people in the mountains. So, put them on your prayer list. Thank you for watching. Have a blessed evening.